Gonzalo Guerrero, conquistador, traitor turned hero, Indian, father of the Mexican nation. Before this man became a hero, he was considered a traitor for centuries. Gonzalo Guerrero was born in 1470 in the Andalusian town of Palos de la Frontera. Today, a number of researchers claim that he came from a family of Marranos, Spanish Jews of conversion. At the age of 16, Gonzalo became a mercenary and, together with his detachment, finished off scattered gangs of Moors who were still trying to recapture their cities from the Spaniards. After the final victory over the infidels, Gonzalo and his comrades set off to conquer the lands discovered by Columbus. He liked fighting with the savages much more than with the Berbers. The risk was 100 times less, and the spoils were 1,000 times more. Everything would have been fine, but in 1511, the carrack on which Guerrero sailed was shipwrecked. 15 Spaniards, including our conquistador, were lucky enough to escape on a boat. The survivors were unlucky in only one thing: their ship sank in the Caribbean Sea during the season of storms and hurricanes. For 2 weeks the fragile trough was tossed about by the waves until it finally washed up on the eastern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. The country of Chactamal, in which they found themselves by the will of fate, was ruled by the ambitious ruler Nacan. The Indians turned the foreigners captured into strange slaves, of whom 2 months later only Gonzalo Guerrero and the monk Geronimo de Aguilar, who had passed through fire and water in the New World, remained alive. One day, when Nacan was washing in the waters of a beautiful lake, a 5-meter crocodile quietly swam up to him. Seeing that in another minute the ruler would be attacked by the toothy creature, Guerrero rushed into the water and killed the monster with his bare hands, tearing apart the huge mouth of the reptile. After this heroic act, the life of the captive changed. He became a warrior who was allowed to make ritual tattoos and decorate his body in other ways, accepted at that time in Chactamal. After seeing Guerrero fight in battle, the ruler ordered him to take command of a small detachment. Very little time passed before the former conquistador became the right hand of Nacan. Guerrero taught the Indians the methods of European combat and the use of Spanish weapons. Thanks to his efforts, the country was covered with a network of forts, and the coast was dotted with military bases, used for resting soldiers and repairing canoes. Guerrero chose Princess Zazelha as his wife, who gave her husband 3 sons. While the conquistador was engaged in war and state building, the monk Aguilar served as a learned slave. In 1523, Cortés, who was conquering the Aztec Empire, heard rumors about the Spaniards finding themselves in Indian captivity. In one of the battles, the monk defected to the side of the Spaniards. Guerrero refused his comrades' call to leave with him. For 13 years the Spaniards could not destroy the detachment of the damned traitor, who became the right hand of the rebellious king. In June 1536, his brother-in-law approached the pale-faced Indian with a request for military assistance. Having put the fighters in 50 canoes, Guerrero went to help his wife's brother. This was his last fight. In the midst of the fight, Guerrero was struck down by a well-aimed shot from an arquebusier. The Spaniards still consider Gonzalo Guerrero a traitor, and modern Mexicans praise him as a national hero and father of the nation. Guerrero's children are called the first American mestizos in history.